If you have never drafted a pattern before, this tutorial is for you because it is beginners friendly and is very detailed. So kindly pay attention, watch these videos to the end, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Here are the things that we are going to be needing. They are basic things that you can always get at home. Alright, so the most important thing is a pattern paper, just like this one that I have here. You can get any color of your choice, as far as it is a plain color and you can see whatever you are drawing or writing on it. You need a ruler. You can get this one and you can also get another one. Then you need a curved ruler. You need a pair of pencil and a pair of scissors. You're going to need a tape as well because you might want to tape down some parts of the pattern. Then you're also going to need your measuring tape. Then what I did here, I draw a margin line on the top, and that is going to be the shoulder line where I'm going to start all my vertical measurements, while this line here is going to be the center front. That is where I'm going to start my horizontal measurement. So here I'm going to label it as a shoulder, and here I'm going to label center front. So I'm just going to abbreviate and I write C and F. So it's going to be called unfold. So we have two different types of basic bodice block. We have the half scale and the full scale. And we are going to be drafting the half scale in this tutorial. I already have a video on how to draft a full scale. I'm going to drop the link below. You're also going to need your basic body measurements, so kindly take it and note it down. So the first thing I want to do is to divide my workspace into two. One side for the front, the other side is going to be for the back. For the half scale bodice block, it's going to start from the shoulder down to the waist area, the tiny part of your body before your belly button. Okay, so the widest part from your shoulder down to your waist is what you're going to use to divide this. So for me, I'm using my bust measurement. Most of the time is always the bust measurement. So you measure your bust and divide into 4. You can add about 1 or 2 inches is allowance, and whatever you get is what you're going to use to divide your workspace into 2, just like you see me doing. So here I'm working with 10 inches on both sides, although my measurement is still within that 10 inches. So the measurement I'm working with is not up to that 10 inches, but I'm still going to use 10 inches. It's better for me to have excess line. So having done that, the first thing you want to do on this shoulder line is to take your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Okay, so just like you see me doing, you're going to mark like so. Then the next thing you want to take the neck width and neck depth. So for the basic bodies, it's always 3 inches wide and 3 inches deep. So you go ahead and measure 3 inches vertically and horizontally. Then you connect with the curved part of your curve ruler, just like you see me doing. The next thing you want to do is to draw the shoulder slope. So for you to connect the shoulder slope, you come down from that point where you mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2, you come down by 1 inch, then you connect back to the neck width. Alright, I just hope you can see what I am doing. Alright, so it can be 1, it can be 1.25. Okay, this is because our shoulder is not straight, it is slopey. So we needed our pattern to follow exactly the shape of our body. Okay, so from here we are going to draw our chest line measurement. Okay, so if you have your chest line measurement, just measure from the shoulder down. Or better still, you divide your bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it to get your chest line or your armhole line. And sometimes you might just use your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Whatever you have, you measure after the shoulder slope, just like I am doing. You measure down like so, and whatever you have there, you had about 1 inch or 1.25, whatever you use for your shoulders. Once you're done, you connect with a straight line. And this line here is going to be the chest line, in which you are going to be connecting the armhole line and the armhole curve. So the next thing you want to do is to measure whatever you have here, and you measure and mark on this new line here. Okay, this is because we want to draw a straight line and we needed it to be accurate. So you connect back to the shoulder slope like so. That is your armhole line. Now to create the curve, the first thing we want to do is to take the bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line. I will tell us why we needed to do that first. Okay, so here is mine. Then after that, you come to this line, divide into 2 equal half and find the midpoint. From that midpoint, you go inward by 0.5 or 0.75. Okay, then you're going to connect with a line like so. Then from this point, you're going to connect back to the measurement you have on your chest line. That is the quarter of your bust measurement. Okay, so you connect like this, create your armhole. So after this, you take from the shoulder down to the bust point and to the waist. Okay, so from my shoulder to my half length, shoulder to waist is also known as shoulder to front length. The measurement I'm working with 15 inches. I'll mark it all through and connect like so. After this, now on this line, you are going to take your waist dart. That is really important in pattern drafting. Okay, so to take the waist dart now, you're going to use your bust span measurement. That is your nipple to nipple measurement, measuring from one nipple point to the other. Whatever you have, you're going to divide into 2, and you're going to be marking half of that on this line. Okay, so the measurement I'm working with here is 7 inches, so that means I'm going to have 3.5. So from this 3.5, you're going to be taking 0.5 on both sides you mark. Then from there, you measure upward to your bust point line. Here is where you need the bust point. From the bust point, you can come down by half an inch or 1 inch. Then you are going to connect with a straight line like so. Okay, so from this point, you connect back to the 0.5 you marked earlier on both sides. This we have plotted the waist dart. After this, you want to take quarter of your waist circumference measurement on the waistline. So whatever you have, you can simply fold your tape into 4 if you do not have a calculator, just like you see me doing. So whatever your measurement is, you're going to place your tape like so. You place it once like this. Okay, then you're going to fold again. Okay, that means you have divided it into 4. So whatever you have here is what you're going to measure on the waistline like so. And do not forget we have 1 inch dart. Measure whatever you use for your dart. It might be 1 inch, it might be 1.5, then you replace it. So this is because by the time we sew the dart, we'll be taken away from the measurement if we do not replace it. Then you're going to connect from the waist back to the bust. So the next thing we want to do now is to plot the side dart, also known as the bust dart. This is the reason why I said you need your bust point line, because to create the bust dart now, you're going to be doing that exactly on the bust point line. Okay, so there's no how we would not want to do that. It's really important. It's going to be like a guide for us. Okay, so here is my bust point line. Okay, so there are 2 ways of plotting a dart. Okay, so you can either stop 1 inch before the bust point line, or you stop exactly on the bust point line. Okay, so whatever you do on the waist dart, you're going to do on the side dart as well. I'm still going to extend this dart to the bust point line so that we'll understand what I'm trying to say. So if you stop 1 inch before the bust point for the waist dart, you're going to stop 1 inch before the bust point for the side dart. I just hope you get my explanation. Kindly listen carefully, and if not, just watch what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to correct the waist dart, as you can see. Now I'm going to take the side dart. So for this, you're going to be using the difference between your front and the back. So by the time you watch a video on how to take a body measurement, you're going to understand better. Our front length is different from the back length. So for you to draft the bust dart, you're going to be using the difference between the front length and the back length. Here I have 1.5 inches. So from the bust point, you measure down to 1.5, then you connect back like so. So you might also come across another dart that the bust dart or the side dart does not get to the bust point. It's totally okay. This depends on what works for you. Okay, so this part, we are going to eliminate it by closing it up. So you can either close it on your pattern paper, or you just go ahead and stitch it on your fabric. So you're going to have 2 darts, and you can also decide to close the waist dart and transfer to the bust dart, and vice versa. So now that we are done with this, we are going to work on. So this dart here is going to help eliminate the difference between the front and the back. So now when you want to take the back length, you're going to subtract your bust dart from the original measurement. So just like I have 15 for the front, I'm going to have 13.5 for the back, because the difference between my front length and the back length is 1.5. The back, we do not need the bust point. We are just going to have the chest line and the waistline. Just like we did for the front, we are also going to take the shoulder. So here is going to be the center back, just like we have center front. And as we did for the front, we are going to take our shoulder measurements divided by 2. Then after that, I'm going to extend the chest line from the front to the back. So you can just go ahead and take your chest line measurement again, or you just extend from the front straight to the back, like so. So after that, we're going to take the neck width measurement. Is for the back is always 3 inches by 1 inch, except for other cases. So I'm going to connect that as well using the curved part of my ruler, so to create another round neckline for the back. So after that, now you're going to draw the shoulder slope as well. So for the back, it can be 0.5 or 0.75. Okay, then I'm going to connect with a straight line. After this, I'm going to draw. After that, I'm going to take the shoulder measurement again on the chest line for the back. Then I'm also going to connect together and use my curve ruler to create a armhole. So for the back, the armhole for the back is not that serious. Most of the time it's a bit shallow compared to that of the front. On the chest line, do not forget to take quarter of the bust circumference. Okay, so after that, I'm going to connect with a curve ruler. So you're just going to place the curve like so, and you can also find the midpoint and do it exactly the way we did for the back. For the back, armhole is not as deep as that of the front. It's usually shallow. After that, we're going to plot the waist dart for the back as well, the same way we did for the front. We're going to use the same method, but in this case, that is going to get to the chest line, not the bust point. Remember, there's no bust at the back. Okay, so just like you see me doing, I'm going to connect the darts like so. Then I'm going to take the quarter of the waist measurements and I'm going to replace the waist dart. After that, I'm going to connect like so. We are almost done with the back, but before that, we want to do the back tightening. It ranges between 0 to 0.75 to 1 inch, depending on the person's body, how deep their back is or how shallow it is. Okay, so this is to help avoid bulge, especially around the zip area. Okay, so I'm marking 0.5 inch and I'm going to connect to the neckline. So you can either connect to the neckline or you connect to somewhere before the neckline, just like you see me placing the tape. Just like you see me placing the ruler, that's how you're going to connect it. And as you can see, I'm having a bit of slant line. Okay, this is just to eliminate the excess that you might have around that part. Okay, so you are going to be having a zipper at the back. So you can go ahead and draw the zipper allowance, and you can also decide not to draw the allowance immediately on the pattern. So for this one, I'm marking 1.25 from the new line that I drew, the slant line that we have here. That is where I'm starting my measurement from. Okay, that is going to be the new line, remember. Then I'm also going to extend the neck to the zipper allowance. Okay, so then I'm also going to extend the neck to the zipper allowance like this. Okay, so guys, we are almost done. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is to highlight all these lines so that we'll see the ones that we are working with, and also I'm going to label the pattern correctly. Pattern labeling, correct labeling of pattern saves you a whole lot of stress, saves your time, and also make you, it boosts your confidence. So guys, I'm going to highlight all of this pattern so that we can see the lines we're working with, okay, before we now proceed to the next step. So now let's run a quick check on this side just to be sure. So I'm going to measure like this. I'm going to skip the dart part. I'm going to measure to the bust. So I have 5.25. Then once you measure like this at the back, I have exactly 5.25. This is to ensure that this is just to ensure that I have the same measurement on both sides, because by the time you close the bust dart, the two sides, both the front and the back, has to align. That is essence of the side dart. Okay, so if you have enough space, you can just go ahead and add your side seam immediately, just to avoid you forgetting to add seam allowance to your pattern. So guys, as you can see, I already highlighted the line and I and I guess we can now see the lines clearly. Okay, so it's really important for you to label your pattern. So just like you see me doing, go ahead and label your pattern in a language that you're going to understand. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, I already cut this pattern into two. Okay, so I just hope you see clearly. So this center front, do not forget I said it's going to be cut on fold, meaning you're going to fold your fabric into two before you place the front pattern on it. Okay, so this waist dart, we are going to open it up and we're going to transfer the bust dart, because by the time you close up this dart you might want to have a shortage. So this is like a hack in which you can use to avoid that if you're not ready to cut a pattern yet. So you're going to create something like a square here, like so. All right, so this is because by the time you close up your dart, this is like a shape that is going to be giving you. But do not worry, we're going to close up the dart now and we're going to do already separate the front and the back. And what I want to do now is to close the bust dart and transfer to the waist dart. Okay, so for you to be able to do that, you need to open up the waist dart. The rule of that states that if you want to close the dart, you need to open another one just to make it easier, and vice versa. So the next thing you want to do after opening up the waist dart is to fold in the side dart like so. So by the time you fold in your dart or you close up a dart, it's always going to have a bit of shortage, if not much, at least it's going to have about 0.25 or 0.5 shortage. So you need to replace that shortage. Close the bust dart, just secure it with a tip like so. After doing that, as you can see, the waist dart become wider, and by the time I close it up, you see that the bust area is coming up already. So that is the function and purpose of the dart. So from the chest line, I'm going to reconnect back to the waist with a straight ruler to replace the shortage, to replace the possible shortage by that side, as you can see. So this line here is going to be our new line. We're going to ignore the first one. Now we're going to start by cutting out the front pattern, and the first thing you want to do is to cut out all the excess or the unwanted space, just like this margin line at the center front. I'm going to cut it away so that I do not add to the body measurement. Do not forget, so you do not add to your body measurement, because you might forget and it's still going to add up to your measurements. So after which you are done cutting that, you're going to cut, then after that you cut the neckline, the armhole, the shoulder slope. Okay, so just like you see me doing, you're going to cut exactly, you're going to cut very close to the line that you drew. Do not cut on the line or after the line. If you are watching this video up to this moment and you are yet to like this video, what are you waiting for? Kindly give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button right now, because I'm very sure this video you're finding it interesting. Thank you. So now that we're done with the front, we are going to work on the back. First thing I want to do now is to cut off this excess, but I'm going to add about 0.5, because I want to use that as the sewing allowance. So after that, now you're going to come here and cut off the line. So if you are cutting, if you do not have a zipper allowance, you're going to cut on the new line. But if you do have, by the time you measure your zipper allowance, that line is definitely going to show up. So I'm going to cut that, I'm going to cut the side, then I'm going to cut the neck. Side, as you can see, this dart area is a bit wider because we transferred the bust dart to the waist. And as you can see, the side, it aligns. This is because we eliminated the difference between the front and the back by this side. It does not have anything to do with the front, because the front, of course, the bust is going to occupy that bust area part, and every other place is just going to fall in place. So guys, I hope you find this video helpful. If yes, kindly give it a thumbs up by clicking on the like button. Share this video to people that might find it helpful, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have any video requests or anything at all, let me know in the comment section. Okay, I have other interesting tutorials that are related to this one, and I'll be dropping the link to the videos in the description box. Kindly check it out. So till we meet again in my next one, bye bye.